What is up, my beautiful people? Hope you're having a fantastic day. Exile451 here with yet another daily dose of Reddit Happy. It's Friday, so get ready for the weekend. Let's get started with some stories from r/self-improvement, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Our first story is called Headstrong from Verakaram. This is a little story about my 2019 so far. Everything has been going great, so feel free to read. In December 2018, I was slightly overweight, 111 kilograms on a height of 2 meters. Because I ate like crap for the past couple of months due to Christmas, etc., it was right then and there that I decided that something has to change. I wanted to lose weight and look better. I had tried many things in the past, like vegetarianism, regular swimming, which helped indeed, diets that were based on eating less, etc., but nothing stuck with me. My self-improvement journey had brought many ups and downs until that point already. My weight loss had fluctuated between 86 to 99 kilograms before, but it never reached 100 or above. I was shocked and determined to take drastic measures to hold myself accountable to do something. So, I did something that I thought was ridiculously out of reach for me. I signed up for a full-distance Ironman triathlon race in Zurich. Signing up, I used all the Christmas money I had just gotten and even more, since these kind of races, they're not cheap. I planned on starting my training on the 1st of January, which would amount to exactly 200 days until the race eventually takes place. This seemed ambitious, but not impossible to me at the time. Side note, I have never swum more than 1 kilometer at a time. I was unable to run more than 1 kilometer at a time without taking a break, and I didn't own a road bike and have never been sitting on one. And I have also never heard of any aero bars or anything like them. I started with jogging. I ran to work every day, 1.7 kilometers, for a couple of weeks, until at the end of January, I completed my first 10K in a miserable time of 1 hour and 30 minutes. I was quite proud of me. The first months went really well. I focused on swimming, which in retrospect was bad since it's the shortest part of the race, but it's also what I like doing the most of all the three. I have already been an okay swimmer, but I trembled at the thought of swimming 4K in one go. Practice makes perfect, and I trained on. I read a couple of books, mainly Tim Ferriss's 4-Hour Body, in which he has a training plan for 0 to marathon in 12 weeks. So I tried that. Months had passed, and in April, I finally got my hands on a road bike. Since it was a secondhand bike, I obviously asked the seller which races he's made with it. He merely made a couple of Olympic distance triathlons, and as I said I signed up for an Ironman, he was shocked. It didn't seem reasonable to him. It might not have been reasonable, but that was yet to be proven. I rushed to try out my bike, and I went 60 kilometers straight in the first session with a time of 2 hours and 30 minutes. Not a good time, but exactly what I would need for the race if I were to make it in time. Cutoff for the bike part is 7 hours 40 minutes for 180K. I hopped on the bike a couple of times more for the following months, and I kept my training schedule for the other two disciplines. I have also signed myself up for a 16K running race within my city in May, to see where I'm at. My goal was to complete the 16K within an hour and 30, and I did it in 1 hour, 29 minutes, 54 seconds. Not joking. I was glad I made it. But then some World of Warcraft relapse had hit me since all my new friends I had gotten a year and a half ago since I moved to town started playing it. This threw me back a little bit on my training schedule, and it also increased my junk food consumption. All the people I told of my ambitions until then just smiled and said, good luck, as though they didn't believe in my dream. I didn't care though. They can stay in their mediocrity bubble for as long as they want. I uninstalled WoW after a month and a half or so and resumed my training. I was still not far above running 10K comfortably, and my biking didn't seem to improve either. And race day was approaching. I signed up for an Olympic distance triathlon in June as well to get a feeling for this kind of race. Olympic distance is 1.5K swim, 40K bike, and 10K run, so it's more or less a quarter of the Ironman distance. As I was waiting for the Olympic distance race to start, they announced that the swimming part was to be replaced with running since there was a dangerous storm approaching. I almost cried, since I literally only like swimming in triathlons, and running was the worst. Note, I was still quite heavy at that time, about 99 kilograms. So it was actually a duathlon with 5K running and 40K biking and another 10K running. It went okay. It took me about 3 hours to complete, and I was okay with that. I still had to do 4 times the distance in 5 times the time, and that seemed possible to me, but unlikely. The weeks passed and I kept training, never going long distances. As race day was here, I had still never run a marathon in one session, longest was 22 kilometers, never biked the distance I had to bike in the race in one session, longest was 135 kilometers, never swam 4K, longest was 3K, never tried out my wetsuit. That one was stupid, I know, but I was still too lazy to travel to a lake. Still had no experience swimming in open water and or amongst other athletes. As I stood beside the lake in my snug wetsuit and gazed upon the track, I was terrified. I was a good swimmer, I knew that, but dang! 4K in the lake looked so far. The whistle blew and the rolling start was upon me. I estimated a time of about 1 hour 20 minutes for the swimming part, since this was my strongest discipline. The first 500 meters were a pain, since I had to get used to my wetsuit, but the rest of the swim was total bliss. It somehow was way less tiring than swimming in the pools. I finished with a time of 1 hour 17 minutes. I was thrilled. Onto the bike. I knew I couldn't go too fast, since it's a very long distance. I tried to keep to 30 kilometers an hour on flat terrain, as this is a reasonable speed. I completed the first 90K lap within 3 hours, and I was happy with that. But I was still moving on known territory, and the worst was yet to come. On the first climb of the second lap, after about 110K, everything started to hurt. My feet, since they were not used to it. My shoulders, because of my backpack. Bananas, anyone? I had 11. My knees, etc. It was heck. I rolled into the second transition area after an astounding 7 hours 31 minutes on the bike. Remember the 7 hour 40 minute cutoff? On to the run. 4 laps of 10.55 kilometers, basically 4 times a usual training for me. Or so I thought. I started off running the first lap, then the second. Halfway through the second, everything started hurting again, and I was determined to just continue the race until I got disqualified. I walked more than I ran on the third lap, and I basically completely walked the fourth, but in the end, I walked across the finish line amidst a cheering crowd, getting high fives after 15 hours and 45 minutes. 15 minutes before the cutoff time. Dead last in my age group, and to a voice which said, "You are an Iron Man." Sometimes, the one who needs to give you a kick in the butt is you. Anything is possible. This is literally the slogan of Iron Man. If you fail on a big goal, you still fail above everyone else's successes. And if you succeed, even better. I hope you enjoyed my little journey to here. Currently, I'm at 97 kilograms, still training occasionally, and I've already signed up for the next Ironman event in my country. Where will you be on the 12th of July next year? Cheers! First off, OP, congratulations. That is an absolutely outstanding and incredible achievement. I mean, goodness, seriously. To complete an Ironman, to start from nothing at the beginning of the year and get into a shape where, while you may not have placed, you still at least finished an Ironman in the allotted amount of time is an achievement most people could only dream of. The dedication that takes is just absolutely astounding, and the fact that you were able to do that speaks so highly of you as an individual. So congratulations on that. And secondly, your story is one that I truly think would be an inspiration for a lot of people out there who may just want the motivation to push themselves to do a little better. Maybe not necessarily go for an Ironman, but maybe try to trim off that 20 or 30 pounds extra weight. Maybe try to push themselves to be more productive at work, or maybe just something as simple as getting themselves out of bed in the morning. You've proven that whatever you truly do set your mind to, you can achieve. Your story is an inspiration. Thank you so much for sharing it, and I truly wish you the best. Please do update next year, because I really want to hear how that next Ironman goes. Our next story is from Throw the Strawberry, but real quick, if you're enjoying the video, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you can get more of your daily dose of Reddit Happy. Where I am currently at on my journey. I grew up really anxious and then depressed, mixed with a lot of OCD tendencies that manifested in really weird and neurotic behavior. It, combined with many other things, crippled my relationships with other people and with myself. I took the steps I needed to improve by committing to gym, diet, and power of will. I lost weight, gained muscle, and felt generally very positive all the time. Nothing about my circumstances ever really changed. I was still jobless, not happy with myself in the situation I was in, and wanted so much more out of life. But still, I felt pretty good most days. I felt good, meaning I felt motivated to do stuff. Just random stuff like go buy a taco kit and try to make tacos, or going to see a movie by myself. I felt more social. I just wanted to be around people more often because I enjoyed talking to people so much. It was just a ray of sunshine. The clouds were still there, but it was chill. I eventually got motivated enough to get a job. And because I was still riding the wave of my routine, I was so social and hardworking at the new gig that I was able to feel really good about what I was doing. I was getting along well with everyone and just felt like a star. I accomplished what I set out to do. I lost weight, looked better, and was in a great headspace. Girls were complimenting me, men were complimenting me, my peers, my managers. Man, I felt good! So what did I proceed to do? Stop eating right, stop working out, and stop pushing everything to 100%. I was so high on the wave of finally accomplishing my goals that I started slacking off. Like I had won or something. It was a domino effect. It started with more cheating days than I ever allowed myself. Then I gained some weight back. Then I started losing focus and energy at work because of it. And that made me less proud, so I was less energetic with my peers, which made me less social. I stopped introducing myself to people first, stopped caring about new faces, and just in general, got back into a really funky headspace. I was having doubts again, started being anxious about the future, etc. So that's where I'm at right now, at the cusp of recommitting. Because I told myself I would never be the type to get halfway to a lifelong goal and look back instead of ahead. I was disappointed in myself for celebrating mid-race, but I am now working on using that as fuel to propel me even further. Because self-improvement is not a race. It is a marathon, and you run forever. So you have to fall in love with the process of running. There are no shortcuts through a landmine, just one step at a time. You're still here and it is never too late. Use setbacks as motivation and rely on dedication. You know what, OP? You're right, it is never too late. Your story is so incredible in that it shows not only how relatively easy it is to achieve those goals, but how easy it is to slide back. And I'm not singling you out as a bad example here, but your story is a good one about why it is important to just keep trying, why you can never, ever let yourself slide. The fact that you're recommitting and not letting your previous failure define what you feel about yourself is remarkable. So many people would just be like, I was at that point, I'm never going to get back there again, why even bother trying? But you're not. Congratulations on being that responsible and accountable to yourself. You're truly an example of what it means to really embrace the idea of self-improvement. Thank you so much for sharing your story, and wherever you're at right now, I truly wish you the best. Please do update and let people know how you're doing. That was r/self-improvement, and if you want more good self-improvement stories, then go ahead and hit the link to that playlist in the description below. Now, you guys go out there, have an awesome weekend. I will see you all on Monday. Until then, I'm Exile451. Stay beautiful, people.